Good morning. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what solds for last week. I'm going to do it in two parts. This one is going to be for September 6th through September 9th, which was Monday through Thursday of last week. It was a really good week. Sales are picking up for me. You know, I say that, and then there's like one day last week where I can't remember when my sales were so low for one day. So, you know, it's just how it is. But overall, things are going good. I'm still listing like crazy, trying to get as much stuff up, and everybody else needs to be doing this. Get as much stuff up as you possibly can for fourth quarter. But let me go ahead and get started. For those who are new to my channel, I've been selling on eBay for about 22 years. March will be 23. Most of it's been full-time. Up until last year, we did have alternate. We did Amazon and stuff like that, but as of last year, we basically do eBay, and I do some cross-listing to Facebook, but it's nowhere near what eBay is. Another thing to take note, when I do my what solds, I do not do free shipping. So when I say something sold for $14, that does not include the shipping that the buyer does pay. All right, let me go ahead and get started. All right, this first item I picked up recently. I paid $1 or less, I think, for it. For the most part, with my Plush, I probably averages about $1 or so is what I pay. A lot of times I pay a quarter, 50 cents. This is why I love selling Plush, because you can buy it so cheaply, and it sells for me. It's a good income. This is our primary income, so it's, you know, I have a lot in my store. I list a lot. I sell a lot. All right, so this thumper was from Scentsy, and I did, I've got a cheat sheet right here, so if you see me peeking that way, not everything on the screen sells for what it says on the screen, but I did sell this for best offer of $14. I love Scentsy. There's some that sell for really well. The first Plush I ever found, I think I sold for about $80, and I bought it not even knowing what it was. And then since then, I just buy. I featured these in a haul. I bought these at a church. I believe I paid 50 cents each. They had lots of wear. They were discolored. They are these foam musical clowns. They're vintage. These were all made in Japan. But their face is like, the foam is covered with like a piece of fabric, and when I pick them up, they're almost always need cleaned. But this is one of those toys I don't try. I don't even attempt to clean them. I just state, like I did here, that they do have lots of wear and discoloration and stains, and I'm leaving all cleaning to the buyer. And I sell them almost always at least within the month that I've listed them. These went pretty quickly. I did take a best offer on them of $15. My husband picked this up, but he saw it before I did, is the only reason why. But I have sold these before. These are the Richard Simmons food guides. I think they monitor what you're eating, how much you're eating, how much you're drinking, stuff like that. This one was dated 2002. There's some that sell for more. Maybe it offers more things. I don't know. But I did end up selling these for $12.71. I think my husband paid either 50 cents or $1 for it. We did start selling clothes here in the last few months. I think I'm up to not quite 300 items yet. That's what I'm gonna focus on today after I finish this, is getting more clothes listed. But I did sell these Levi's for $20.98. We have been picking up tons of jeans for $2 or less. Once in a while we pay a little bit more, but for the most part it's $2 or less. We've got tons to get listed. This is a Fiesta bear that's dressed in a clown outfit. I've mentioned this before. Anything that's, for me, plush that's represents a clown, they tend to do better than just a normal stuffed animal. But I did sell this one for $25.46. This is Aurora Girls Nation. I did sell this fox for $12.71. I think I featured this in a haul, and I've mentioned this before. With Aurora, it's like the animals that aren't just dogs and cats and rabbits and stuff like that tend to do better than some of the other ones, and especially when you get into some of the colors also. I think I paid maybe 50 cents for this. This was just an example. I tend to, especially when I go to the bins, I grab a whole bunch of stuff, and then I separate them in my whole area back here is my unlisted, and I separate things into categories. I've got some that are action figures and Littlest Pet Shops and doll stuff, and every once in a while I'll go through them, and that was what this was. I ended up using Google Lens and found out that this was the comb for Mattel's Little Miss Magic jewels, and listed it, and it hadn't been listed that long, and I sold it for $7.61. But more than likely I picked it up at the bins, and it probably would have only been a dime or something, so I'm okay with the small sales too. This is Fiesta Kitty Corn. They came out with a whole series. I think Dandy also has them, where it's an animal that they've also added a unicorn horn to it, and this one was called Kitty Corn, and I just wanted to give you an example. Watch for them. Not all of them are worth lots of money, but like this one was cute, and I ended up selling it for $11.01. This is an Ollie and Me unicorn purse. It is for a child. It wasn't very big. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at the bins also, so I would have only paid probably 50 cents or so for it, and I did sell it for $12.50 best offer. This is a Wolfgang Puck bread machine. I parted it out. It was a monstrosity of a bread machine, and this was the pan. I sold it as a replacement part, and I sold it for $16.96. I think my husband paid like $5 or something for the whole thing, and I've sold the pan and the paddles and just other things that was with it. I've featured this almost in every single one of my recent what solds. I bought this on the hybrid online auction that I did, and I just listed them here in the last month because of Halloween, and I'm selling them out very quickly. But this was a Halloween bucket from 1991 McDonald's, and I sold it for best offer of $17. I'm way over $100 in the buckets that I've sold so far, and I paid either $2 or $3 for a huge box of them. So if you see these at yard sales, definitely check into them. I've done very well with them. This is a Goond Chubbs Senior Penguin. I have sold several things here recently that were the Goond Chubbs. It must be a series. I've not heard of it before. I just sold a little plush also, but I did sell this for the $16.87. These are Mattel Tough Stuff. Now, I've talked about that series before. I recently sold a truck that had the number blocks in it. They also have like ABCs, and then I've had these before. Now, I'm pretty sure I picked these up at the bins. They were in the bin, and I just kind of collected all of them that I could find. And these sold for $37.55. They're from the 80s. I'm pretty sure. About the 80s. And I just learned once upon a time about them. And every time I see them now, I pick them up. I've sold lots of kitchenware this week. These were the Faltzgraf Snow Village set that we picked up earlier this summer. I want to say we either paid, I think, $50 or $75 for a tote of all of this stoneware that features a Christmas scene. And it's that time of year people are starting to look for pieces to add to their collection or replace pieces. But I did sell this serving bowl and serving platter for $30. And my husband packed them for me. This is an A&A plush. Now, it was shaped like a ghost. I couldn't find anything like it, which sometimes that's good and sometimes that just means it's not worth it. But I went ahead and listed this one really, really high for me, $24.95 for an 8-inch plush. And I ended up selling it for best offer of $22. My water's in the way. $22 for just a little bean plush. I talk about this quite often. Plush that are made out of terry cloth. Definitely check the comps. I would almost say just get it, especially if it's Eden or Russ or any of those types of brands. Shaped like a clown. They just are highly collectible. And now I've had this listed for a while. I'm pretty sure this was on one of my sourcing trips up north that I picked this up. It's 6.5 inches. It did not have a tag, so I wasn't quite sure of the manufacturer, but I ended up selling the mouse for $37.55. This again was one of my moments where I was cleaning out the doll box, and I just decided to put these two Cabbage Patch Kids articles together. It was a baby rattle and a comb, and I ended up selling them for best offer of $10.50. This is a My Banky. I've talked about this. I've talked about that brand before. I think I recently picked up one of the large ones. They're like 48 inches long, but this is the 24-inch. I did only sell it for $9.35, but I chose to show you this first and foremost because I had two of these, but this one had some playwear to it, and then the other one ended up having a small little tear. So what I normally do, I don't list them under the same listing because there is something different about their condition. So I'll throw a number on the end. Like you see here, I've got a number 2 on the end. And then usually I'll try to put them in a different tote, so there's even more reason not to confuse them. And then I put a number 2 on the bag. But I'm still happy with $9 sales. My husband picked this up recently. He paid $1 for it. It is by Cloud Island, and it was sold through Target 2019. It's just this little white lamb, and I listed it and sold it the same day. Somebody sent me an offer of $14.99, and I went ahead and accepted it. These are some Croc shoes that I picked up recently. I want to say it may have been one that we paid $5 for. I tend to spend about $5 or less on shoes, but I ended up taking a best offer on these of $20. They weren't listed that long either. This is just another example. I sold this little cookie cutter for the $5.59. I had bought a huge lot of this Hallmark Angel series, and this was just one of the items in that lot. I already had it. I'd already paid for it. I went ahead and listed it and sold it. I'm okay with that. This is a Looney Tunes Christmas ornament. I'm pretty sure I picked these up. I bought several, probably for about the $1 price range, and I ended up selling this for best offer of $11. These next two, again, are these strawberry shortcakes that I picked up at a church. I paid $5 for each one of them. I bought 21 items, all in the box. I think except one thing wasn't in the box. And this lady offered me $20 on each of the 2 horses. So I went ahead and gave her a bundle deal and shipped them together, and she was happy as could be. but it was this strawberry shortcake Phillies Parade, and then this butter pecan island. This is just another tie that I've sold. It did not have its ear tag. I always put that in, even though you can see it's not there. I go ahead and put it in the description. I think I bought this in a bundle. I'm not quite sure, but it's been here recently, and I did sell him for the $10.29 very quickly, like within a week. This is a stuffed by me brown bear. The artist that designed this bear was the Merrily Woods. I have found these a couple of times. I go ahead and pick them up. They're just cute. This one had a little dress on, and I sold it for best offer of $15. This is a Chosun Heart to Heart bear. Now, I featured this in my haul from the 100 Mile Yard Sale I went to last month, into July. And I got this for free. It had its little heart that makes a heartbeat sound. And I ended up selling it for the $65.75. Definitely always be looking for these. I find them, a couple of them a year, I think. This is Peanuts Linus Blanket. I believe it was from Hallmark. But it had a little sound box in it that did not work. I just put that in the description and ended up selling it for best offer of $13. These are Mickey and Minnie Mouse figures. Again, I tend to collect a bunch of these, and then I go ahead and list them at one time. And I ended up taking a best offer for these for $15. This is a Dandy Rabbit plush. It was 15 inches long. I ended up selling it for $23.45. This is a set of silverware. I bought a 12-piece place setting, and I divided each type of silverware into lots of 4. And I have been selling it like crazy. These were Reed & Barton Sussex. I'm pretty sure I paid $30 for all of it. It was even in these little wooden cases. I think based on my research, these might have been the ones that came from QVC. I don't remember. But I ended up selling 3 lots of these for $40 each. So $120 for the total. And I still have quite a bit. This is a New Wave infrared oven that we picked up. Usually we pay $10 or less for them, and then I break them up and sell each part. This was the dome extender ring. It's just the little ring that's about this tall, and I ended up selling just the ring for $18.75. This is House of Lloyd, which was also Christmas Around the World. I went to several of these parties back in the 80s and 90s, I believe. But I have done really well with them. So if you see them, at least check the comps at yard sales. They're almost at every single yard sale I see, especially this time of year when we're leading up into Christmas. This was a Santa Express incense burner. Now there's another incense burner that is like Santa sitting in a rocking chair. I've done very well with him also. But I ended up selling this for best offer of $25. Sometimes if you notice my prices, I'll go high, especially when there's none listed. And then as I get comps, or I get offers, I recheck the comps, and then I do a little bit more research sometimes. And sometimes my price isn't on point, and I'll go ahead and take the offer. I'm sure I only paid a couple dollars for it. This, I think I featured this recently in a haul. I paid $3. This is at the same yard sale that I bought the Boyd's calendar that I ended up selling for over $500. Amazing sale. But anyway, I paid $3 for this. This was a plug-in type Christmas ornament. the little mice went in circles and it played music. I did not have a box. Make sure when you're listing ornaments that probably came in a box, if you don't have the box stated in your listing, even if you don't show it. But I ended up selling it for best offer of $15. This again is just another Christmas item. I picked this up, I think, on the 100-mile yard sale. Paid $1, maybe $2 for it, and ended up selling it for, again, best offer of $15. This is another example of a terry cloth doll that I picked up. It did not have a tag, so I did not know the manufacturer, and I couldn't find any like it on eBay. I ended up selling this doll for $21.57. And I even stated in here it had lots of lint balls and had some discoloration. But collectors will collect it, and then they may try to whiten it up a little. This brand I always know to pick up. It is Kalu. This was a little hand puppet lovey. Probably paid $1 or $2 at a consignment sale for it. I buy lots of loveys at consignment sales, but I ended up selling this for $23.45. Very cute. Lots of this stuff to show you this past week. It was a good week. This is Magic School Bus. This was Liz the Lizard. It was a little plush key ring. It had a little clip-on on it. And I ended up taking a best offer of $18 for it. Again, I probably picked it up at the bin, so I only paid maybe $0.25 for it. This is a set of books I picked up at an estate sale. I want to say she only charged me a couple dollars for it, maybe up to $5. But I ended up taking a best offer of $20 for them. They were heavy. It was tons. It was heavy. I don't know if I like the heavy stuff like that. I showed this recently in a haul. These are the Thai Pluffies. There's pink bears and blue bears. Some of the little outfits are removable. Those are the most highly sought after, followed by these ones with the rabbit ears. And then the hood comes down, but the outfit doesn't come off. And then there's others where it's just the outfit and no ears. But I ended up selling this Pluffies for best offer of $22. And this, we picked up at a thrift store. I want to say we paid probably $5 or less for it. And it was listed a little while, and I ended up taking a best offer of $80 for it. It didn't have its box, but I did test it and it did work. And it was clean. I've got probably 2 more of these, but they're not clean, and they're sitting in my needs to be cleaned pile, which I just haven't had time to get to. But I need to, because this motivated me. I can have $80 if I just get it cleaned up. All right, these next few were Facebook sales. Facebook was really good last week for me, and then this week it's just not been. It's like totally turned off. But I did sell these Jurassic Park Roarivores dinosaurs. I picked up a lot of these at a consignment sale that I went to. I think these were part of a bag of dinosaurs that I paid $8 for, and there were others in there, but these were the same type. So I put them together, and I did sell them for the $40 on Facebook Marketplace. This is a hand puppet. It's been listed on eBay for a long time. Get it on Facebook, and it sold for $9. This is a puzzle. It's a kid's large piece puzzle. Just took me a few minutes, well, more than a few minutes, but not very long. Put it together, took pictures, got it listed, and sold for $8. These are some dollhouse babies that I picked up. I think I paid $25 for a huge lot of furniture and people and the dollhouse, and I've been selling them in small lots, and I did sell these for $22. And then this is a Winnie the Pooh Fisher Price plush. He's $18 I sold him for he's 18 inches. I sold him for $8. Again, I have 2 of these. They have been listed on eBay for a while, and then I'm trying to get a lot of my character stuff and action figures and dollhouse stuff listed on Facebook, because those tend to do better for me. But then again, you just don't know. And then my last thing on Facebook, I sold these brass deers. They were from the large lot that I showed in a haul a couple of months ago, earlier in the summer. And I ended up selling just these 2 for $18. And then I had one Bonanza order, and it was this baby gooned giraffe lovey, but it was the larger floor size. But I ended up selling it on Bonanza for $39.95. And again, that's also does not include shipping. So, like I said, I had some amazing sales. I'm hoping that these are things that I find at yard sales, thrift stores, the Goodwills, and they're things you can find, and I think I make a reasonable profit on them. So definitely keep your eye out for these types of things. I have one subscriber who likes to send me pictures of stuff or ask me questions. I do not mind. I'm on Instagram also. I think my husband puts a link in the comments section, or the little blurb section, of ways that you can contact me. I don't mind giving you some suggestions on things that you might be looking for. But again, I'm hoping that this is a good start to the 4th quarter. All right, I'm going to turn this off and actually turn right around and do what sold over the weekend. It's a little bit shorter, but that's okay. It all adds up for my, my bank deposit, so I can pay my bills.